Watch Report, where we talk about the things we watched this week. Weekly Watch Report on Monday, Weekly Watch Report on Monday, Weekly Watch Report on Monday, Weekly Watch Report on Monday. Hey. All right. I watched a fucked up documentary this weekend, let me tell you. I watched a couple of things. First, Veep. Obviously, I'm still continuing that. Love it. So funny. Nothing.
How far are you now?
I'm in the second season.
Yeah.
Nothing else left to say besides I really enjoy it and I think it's hilarious. Tell Me Lies. We already talked about the finale last week. I'll give that an A. I watched this documentary called Sweet Bobby, My Catfish Nightmare. It's a new Netflix documentary. I was floored by the ending of this. Can I spoil it? Can I talk about what happened?
Oh, can you hit me with the premise first?
The premise is this woman was catfished.
Okay.
She thought she was talking to a man named Bobby.
Yeah.
And obviously she wasn't.
It was just an episode of Catfish. Sort of.
Yeah. Yes, it was like the premise of what Catfish is, but it was a shocking ending. I mean, my whole thing is I won't spoil who the person was catfishing her. My problem is, first of all, the person doing the catfishing is so fucked up. Like, genuinely so fucked up, okay? But this went on for 9 years.
Oh, God.
How?
No, it's
let this go on for 9 years. Like, there were instances where, I'll give a little bit of the beginning. The man she was talking to online, Bobby, Sweet Bobby, she runs into him at a club in London. Okay, they're all from London. She runs into this man at a club, goes up to him. He's like, I don't know who you are. And then she says to herself, he was drunk. Like, I didn't really think anything of it, and I never brought it up to him. So you're talking to this man, Bobby.
Online.
You're online.
See him in
you're
real
texting.
life.
You see him in real life. He doesn't know who you are.
Yeah.
And then you don't say anything to him. She didn't say anything to him. She didn't say like, oh, we met at the club last night. You didn't recognize me. What was that about? She was like, I thought he was just drunk, so I just like let it go and I didn't bring it up to him.
Look, this is harsh, but the people that are catfished for this amount of time, like, wake up.
No, truly. And you,
it's a level of brain dead.
No, it really is, because you feel bad in some sense, because you're like, this is like, she is a victim of,
absolutely
deception.
Absolutely.
And especially with who was doing the catfishing, it's a level of deception that you can't even like fathom, right?
I guess hindsight is 20/20 looking back. Like when you're like, oh, maybe that was a little suspicious, and in the moment I didn't realize it.
Right, but for 9 years, 9 years, like maybe the first couple months.
Right.
And
she thought she was like in a relationship with him.
Well, no, not necessarily.
Okay.
It was very on and off. They were really good friends. And then
for 9 years.
Never
met in real life.
No.
But both lived in the same city.
And they never FaceTime, but they would talk on the phone. I don't know. Like, it was incredibly, incredibly confusing. And it went on for so long. They were friends, and then you could tell that she was interested and he was interested, and it got intimate, and then it just went on for years and years and years without them ever meeting. Crazy. Besides the fact that she did meet him very early on and he didn't know who she was. So that right there should have been the number one sign that she wasn't talking to the right person.
The actual person.
But yeah, she is a victim of lies and deception and all this crazy shit. On the other side of it, you're like, how do you let this go on for 9 years? It's so disorienting. Like, you're watching it. And then, honestly, Bobby and his wife, you feel awful for them, because like
the real life, the actual person,
the real Bobby, he's in the documentary because he's like, his whole identity was stolen,
right,
and all these other, and it wasn't just him; it was everybody in his family, his cousins, his brother,
No, the level that these people go to,
want to say,
it's frightening.
Spoiler alert. If you're going to watch this documentary, honestly, it's so interesting. Even if I say it, you're probably still going to want to watch.
Yeah.
It was her fucking cousin.
Oh, weird.
Her girl cousin.
Weird.
So she was just fucking
Weird.
Her girl cut for 9 years.
But like her only intention was just to fuck with her.
I don't know what her intention was.
Is she
the cousin?
in it?
No, the cousin refused
it.
to be in the whatever.
Can you go to jail for that?
Well, so what happened was, the woman being catfished showed up at Bobby's house. Okay. She shows up at Bobby's house. Bobby and his wife and their kid are like, lady, we don't know who you are.
Yeah.
They're like, get off our lawn. Like, we don't know you. And she's freaking out, being like, he's lying, like saying to the wife, like, he's lying. Like, we've been talking for this amount of time, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, no, we're going to call the police. Like, we don't know who you are. The cousin dated Bobby's brother. Bobby's brother.
Okay. So was this some weird revenge plot against Bobby's family?
I have no idea. So she's like, you know my cousin Simran. And Bobby's like, I do. She dated my brother. And then she calls Simran, and Simran's like, okay, you need to leave. Like, don't, like, this is crazy. You need to leave. And they're like, they're like, we're calling the police. Like, you need to leave. So she leaves. She goes home. Her cousin shows up to her house and is like, it was all me. And obviously the woman who's being catfished was like, what? Like, why? Why would you do this to me? And then Simran texts Bobby and it was like, it was basically all me. So then he has the proof to show the police. The police call the woman and they're like, you're a victim of a crime.
Yeah.
She then goes to her local police station. They're like, no, you're not. The real victims are Bobby and Sand.
His identity stolen.
And but then she was like, well, what if I told you that we were intimate? Like, I didn't give Simran consent to being intimate with me. Like, that itself is like illegal. Mm-hmm. She didn't end up going to jail. So it's incredibly fucked up in all different like ways.
And there was no like, she didn't give any commentary on any motivation.
In the end, it said that she said that this started from something that happened to her as a schoolgirl, and there was really no other context. Like, she's working through it. Like, she doesn't know why. She doesn't know why she did what she did.
It is like really crazy though. It is such a crazy thing that I feel like even when you watch like Catfish on MTV, half the time they're like, "Why'd you do this?" They're like, "I don't know, bored."
It's jobless
like, it's
behavior.
Crazy.
Jobless behavior.
Yeah.
How do you have this time to
absolutely?
There's like,
but it's just crazy that half the time there's just like, yeah, I don't know.
Endless profiles were made of friends and family. Endless people's identities were being made into Facebook profiles. For 9 years, they had a group chat. Called the Three Amigos. It was so fucked up. That's so that you feel for this poor woman.
Yeah.
But at this,
of course.
And then you're just like, how the fuck did this go on for 9 years? Like your brain is
mastermind.
Your brain's in a pretzel because you're like, you feel so bad for her because her fucking cousin. Yep. It was her cousin. How disgusting, how violating is that? Your cousin knows everything about you. Like, I would rather it be a fucking stranger than my cousin catfishing me.
Of course.
And now my cousin knows everything about me, knows all these intimate details. Like, it's very violating. It makes me want to crawl out of my skin. It's so disgusting. And then, besides her cousin being a fucking freak, you're like, for 9 years?
Yeah.
When you met him at the club, and he didn't know who you were, you didn't ask him,
and there was no follow up.
Also, what did she do? She walked away, like.
Yeah, she was like, I just walked away, went on with my night.
I just never brought it up.
What? And never brought it up again.
Yeah.
What?
Like, didn't send a text like, hey, that was weird last night.
I don't know. The whole thing is so.
But here's the thing: even if she does leave that scenario and like go home and text Bobby, I put in air quotes, the cousin is just gonna spin it in a way of like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, yeah, like, I don't know. I'm awkward in real life. Like, that was, like you would
Are
have.
you a catfish?
You know?
That was a good answer.
Yeah,
that was pretty good.
I've watched a lot of catfish.
Yeah,
I'm
so
not gonna lie.
So have I. It's like a guilty pleasure. But
yeah.
I mean, this shit's fucked up.
People are
and
sick.
Her
They'll
cousin
spin it
is
in all
sick.
There have
in
been
all
multiple
different
times where
ways.
people have sent me people impersonating me on dating apps, and it kind of scares me.
Oh my god,
Yeah,
they're using
it's
you as a
crazy.
catfish.
There's been, before I ever even had like any profile,
Yeah.
people were sending me like screen recordings, like all pictures of me, like with my name, prompts,
Oh my
and everything.
god.
And then I just never did anything about it, but I'm like, that's weird.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I've seen that too, but more so years ago. I don't think anybody would do it now because we're
Yeah.
so openly engaged and married.
I know. I
that
just
it would
feel like
be
I know, and I just feel like the only people now that like sometimes those dating apps are not like great at filtering that, because they're only good at filtering when they think people are impersonating celebrities.
Yeah.
Like that's why
Noah Ives, celebrity.
Yeah, come on.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. It's like they're
Well, they have the verify thing now.
yeah.
But
But it's just like
not everyone
when like a celebrity signs up for Hinge or something, or like a known person signs up for Hinge, and now it seems like they have a process where they like.
I feel like I've seen celebrities say that they've been banned.
Yeah, I literally just
from
saw it. It was
things because they think they're impersonating.
the kid from The Sopranos.
Oh yeah. I
Oh,
saw that.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he said he got kicked off Hinge because they thought
he was impersonating
he was
AJ?
impersonating him. Yeah. Yeah.
Damn.
So, yeah, that's crazy. But no, that's these poor people who
No.
get taken advantage of like this. It's sick.
No, it's so sickening. I feel so bad for her. Her life, like she was like, my life is ruined, like from my cousin.
No, it's just
like,
so much, and it's like it's just a large chunk of time.
Not 9 years, and she was in an 18-year relationship prior. I'm pretty
Like,
or
in real
18
life, or just
yeah,
like
no,
over message?
No, like a real life relationship was on and off.
Yeah.
For a very long time. And they finally broke it off, and I don't know, her cousin clearly took advantage of that, but that is some fucked up
Thanksgiving's
shit.
gotta be crazy.
Yeah, I know. I
Sick
mean,
in the head.
seriously, so sick, like so disgusting.
Yeah.
Like I
They're
oh my
British,
god,
so
Oh, Christmas.
yeah, it made me nauseous. I was like, oh my lord, it was crazy. It was
yeah.
crazy. Well, anyways, I'll give that a B.
I was gonna say you
I
were
feel
like
like
you were
I feel
locked
like I
in.
can grade it now.
I'll give it. Sorry, I gave a lot of.
Sounds
detail.
like a B plus,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna go B plus. It was really interesting. You always know how these catfish things are gonna end, but
Right.
but every time you're shocked. You're
Yeah.
like, how did they get them? Like, especially it being the cousin. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Then I watched Woman of the Hour, the new Anna Kendrick movie.
Same.
She stars in it, directed it. It's about the serial killer Rodney Alcala. I think that's how you pronounce it, his last name. By the way, I watched this entire movie without knowing it was a real story until the end, which really fucked me up, because I was like, when it got to the end, it gave like all the updates. I was like, this is a real story.
Right, you're like, oh, fuck.
Like,
Yeah.
It crossed
holy
my mind
fuck.
while I was watching it, and then I'm like, nah, this isn't real.
No,
And
I
then
couldn't
at the
believe.
end,
I for one sec, I just thought, wow, what a premise. And then at the end, I was like, oh my god, this is
You're like,
real. I thought it was good. I thought it was a good movie. I thought the acting was really good. He was a very believable, hateable fucking serial killer. God, just fucking awful. I'll give this a B.
Mm.
I thought it was a good movie.
Also, her first time directing. I thought.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I thought it was. I thought it was good. I mean, yeah, I'll give it a B.
It was cool. I saw other people talking about how like she focused more on the victims than like the killer, which is not how they usually do those movies.
Right.
Mhm.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was dark. It's just crazy. I just mind blown. You're
Yeah.
just like, what the fuck? So I'll give that a B, and that's what I watched.
I'll grade the Tell Me Lies finale as like an A plus. Like
Mhm.
I think it's just I'm still thinking about it. So good. So good. I was talking to a lot of people about it this weekend. And then I watched there were new Love is Blind episodes. 2 episodes. some relationships are coming to an end.
Hannah is the worst.
Hannah,
Can we just all agree on that?
I'm not caught up.
I don't know. There's times when
she's the most like condescending
like
person I've
admire
ever seen.
like yes, but she is.
I raised you from a boy into a man.
Yeah, I mean she just didn't like him. Like, I'm sorry. She can try and say whatever
even
she
her
wants.
mom seemed kind of like disgusted with the way she was acting.
Yeah, I don't know. It was very 100% some questionable behavior. It's like they never should have even gotten to that point. So that was the end of that one. But yeah, it was, the wedding dress shopping and all those things. And Ashley and Tyler were reconciling, making it work. We're excited to get married, the whole thing. There was some drama with Garrett, like getting a text from an ex that initially he said he just liked the message, but he responded, and that caused a whole issue where she started freaking out. Just sometimes there's like little things that feel like they really get blown out of proportion. Not that, like, I understand where you're coming from, getting a text, but like she's like, you lied about getting the text. It's not like he wrote back to her like, oh yeah, like let's meet up and chat. Like I want to see, like I'll update you on my life. Like he like responded and was like, yeah, I'm engaged, I'm happy, like have a nice life. Like it was, it was like a ending kind of text. But no, it seems like I'm rooting for them. They're quite literally the only ones I'm rooting for.
You think they're the only ones? Even them, I don't think are gonna make it.
I don't know. We'll see. But
if she like freaks out, I think he probably didn't tell her because he knew that's how she was gonna react.
Yeah, no,
like,
I mean he
sensitive.
handled that whole thing very poorly. Bringing it up in front of the other couple of like, no, yeah, I responded. She was like, what? You said you just liked it, and then a whole big thing. But really, I mean, these last couple episodes have just not been that good. I think. These couples are losing steam fast. There's just really not a lot of likable players in this arena right now. I'll give these last two episodes a C. It's like fine. We'll see what happens for the weddings. The wedding episodes always crack me up because it's like they're so long, and I'm just like fast forward to see what happens at the altar. So I think that comes out on Wednesday, so we'll see what happens there. I watched the Outer Banks episodes.
Same.
1 through 5.
Like, I forgot about it. It was for me. It's weeks ago.
Yeah. I mean, it's Outer Banks. It's enjoyable.
Yeah.
They're getting into some ridiculous
Shoop's
shit.
coming.
It's like we're 5 seconds into the show, and like JJ's lost all the money already. Honestly, like JJ's antics were kind of endearing, like towards more of the beginning of the seasons. And now we're on season 4, and it's just like, okay, now you're just being really fucking annoying and stupid.
Yeah.
You're ruining their
like,
lives.
Now, like, you're a terrible friend. You're making horrible decisions for everybody.
You're not a good boyfriend.
No.
And she's just like okay with it.
No,
apparently.
him like fucking
That's JJ.
Poe making it so clear that they needed that last bit of money, and he just took it. I'm like, how are they not more mad?
Incredibly frustrated.
John B is just like, oh, all right, man.
They're like, sorry.
We'll handle it.
I guess we'll figure it out.
They just got $1 million and then just spent it all.
It's just gone. Meanwhile, between the auction and then taking the money.
Yeah.
And it's like, and they're like, we have property taxes. I'm like, oh my God, this is like, it is, I'm entertained, but also like laughing at the same time. And I will say, I mean, also spoiler, I guess, if you haven't watched it, but I felt like past seasons there are some twists and turns that I'm like, oh, I actually didn't fully see that one coming. The JJ family tree thing with this old kooky guy, I felt like was so predictable. Like, I don't know, like when they were like specifically talking to him, and then there was like, oh, the daughter and the son, infant son, like whatever, like the whole thing. I was like, oh, this is gonna be something for sure. So I mean, I'm intrigued to see what happens, because now this dude is just his dad.
Yeah.
And can't tell like what his intentions are in this scenario. I mean, they're gonna end up going to Morocco, so that seems to be part of it. But the show also really does just give me anxiety too, like seeing them Sarah and Poe like stuck in the fucking crypt. I'm like,
the rats, crazy.
The rats, the darkness, these like evil. I just love that they just make up these like evil treasure hunters.
There's just more and more like every season.
Like anytime they think they're like getting away, it's like, ooh, no, there's actually this evil enterprise that's coming after the same treasure.
Would be sick if like Nicolas Cage just showed up and like they just had like a crossover of like, you guys are looking for this too.
Oh, you know the other thing I was gonna say is honestly, Rhea, I felt like you had said this seasons ago when you were like, hey, I hate to say it, but one of these characters is probably going to have to bite it, you know? Like now it's so funny because they won't do it, but the show is just, all the show will do is kill off all the father figures.
They hate fathers.
They hate fathers on this show. John B's dad, dead, comes back to life, dead again.
Yeah.
Now fucking what's his face is dead. Ward is dead. And then Terrence, who was like Cleo's father figure, dead.
They just get rid of all the fathers. And like honestly,
fathers,
I'm not gonna lie.
You're dead.
It's not hitting anymore. It's like we're not shocked that you guys are killing the fathers off the show. We get it. You guys hate fathers. You hate Father's Day. Like it's it. It's done. You need to kill off one of the main characters.
Somebody's gotta happen.
And you know what? There's a lot of rumors online, and I'm not sure you're in this part of the internet.
Yeah.
I weirdly am. I get fed these TikToks. I get fed these tweets. I wish I didn't. There's a part of the internet that is so onto Rudy Pankow and his girlfriend, which is like his girlfriend gets a lot of unnecessary hate from
I actually have seen some
fans of this show. They think that she's like ruining the show and like ruining the
like
the
ostracizing
chemistry.
from him like from the group and stuff,
like ruining the chemistry between JJ and Key and like being like like she's the reason like that their chemistry is bad. It's like no, the reason their chemistry is bad is because JJ's a horrible boyfriend. Like he actually just can't exist as a human. So that's why this is bad, not because Rudy he's an actor. He would like Madeline and Chase, beautiful chemistry, haven't skipped a beat, they keep it going. If JJ's character was supposed to be loving towards Key, he would. I don't think that's his character.
Yeah.
But people are like so like JJ's gonna be the one to die because he's so clearly he's done with the show, and like, you know what, let him, like we're done with him too. I'm like, what the fuck?
Honestly,
kind of shit are they making
if
up
one
on
of them
this?
were to like get themselves in a scenario where they could actually be killed, it would be JJ. The decisions that he makes.
Yeah, he makes poor decisions. But I mean, this the part of the internet that just makes things up out of thin air is crazy, just based off photographs. Like they just see photographs and they're like, Rudy's girlfriend. I'm like, they're just making shit up. It's like really alarming.
I'm very intrigued now of like, we'll see in the second half. I wish it was all one part, like I've said 9 million times, but Rafe is a highlight of this show for me. I think Drew Starkey is so good.
He's such a good actor.
And people may disagree with that. I don't know, but like the Rafe scenes, I'm like, yes, like give me more. Like I want to know more. He's such a good actor. And I was cracking up because
movie with Daniel Craig coming out.
Yeah, there's some fans that are like shipping Rafe and Key, and he was asked about it, Drew Starkey, and he was like, yeah, like no, like he would be really bad for her.
Yeah.
Like, it's like a bad choice.
No, he's a great actor.
But
him and Austin North are so believable as hateable guys.
Yeah, I fucking love Topper too. Though, like Topper's like
he's like nice surfboard.
Like Topper's so annoying, but in such a funny way where he's just like harmless. Honestly, that girl, what a massive bitch she was, huh?
Oh my God.
They're really making these kooks really hateable. She's like running over those sea turtles and she's like, yeah, let's drift in front of the kooks. Like
her friend made a TikTok of her being like making my friend interpretive dance to prove that she's not like her character on Outer Banks, and it was so funny.
I actually did see that. That came up on my TikTok too.
It was really funny. But
because I was like, who is this chick? And she's just came onto the scene hot.
She did. My parents called me and they were like, you know, you said that that guy who plays Topper is a nice guy. He came on your show, and that's the only reason why I won't hate him. I'm like, they're like, because we hate him so much on the show, and I'm like, he was nice when he came on the show.
You can tell that out of all the kooks, he's the one or one of the ones that like kind of knows what they're doing is wrong.
Yeah, he just is. He's following along with the crazy kooks. He just can't help himself.
Yeah,
but. It's Outer Banks. They give you what you're getting.
Yeah, 100%. So, I'll give it a. I'll give it a B-. Like I did sit down Friday night and watch them all, like all the way through. Like, and it gets me where I want to keep watching, you know? But it's like how many more stupid decisions can these kids make, you know?
Yeah.
Endless, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They are just kids.
Okay, so then up to date on my Chicago shows. PD I'll give a B, and Med and Fire I'll give like a C+. Through episode 4. I also started the new season of Grey's Anatomy. I know I can't quit it. I still watch it. And I don't know why, truly, but I will always watch it. So I think there's like 4 or so episodes out. I'll give that a C. Something that I just can't quit. And then I was watching a lot of TV because I missed watching TV. I'm not caught up, but I just watched the first premiere episode of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I'll give that a B. These women are nuts. The Salt Lake City women are really nuts.
Watch.
It's like the whole first episode, they're all screaming about each other because Whitney called Lisa the villain of the show on Vile Files. And so they just keep yelling about the podcast. Whitney went on the podcast and said what she said. They're all just screaming about the podcast. They're all mad at what each other said about Lisa. So we'll see where that goes. There's a new housewife that I'm intrigued by. I kind of Bronwyn, maybe her name is. I haven't seen too much about her, but that's everything I watched.
I watched episodes 4 and 5 of The Penguin. I still implore everyone to.
Yeah.
It'll happen.
I'm here absolutely begging everybody to watch The Penguin. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch it for sure.
It's so good. And the 4th episode is more like focused on, I think, Kristen Melody. Do you know her? Mm-hmm. She's really good too. So just across the board, I'll give that an A- right now. Like, just very good. Tell Me Lies, A-. It probably would be an A, but they're just so hateable that I'm like, that kind of brings it down. Outer Banks, I put a B- too.
Yeah.
Like, it's entertaining.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not going into it thinking like I'm watching an Oscar.
No,
you're not
right. You're not. You're watching
Outer
Banks. Yeah, you're watching Outer Banks, and you're watching because you're like, what are these? It's like almost like fucking they're the Scooby Doo, and like you're like, what are these crazy kids gonna get themselves into this time?
Yeah. Woman of the Hour, I'll give that a B+. Like, I thought it was very well done, and I thought for her first time directing, like, very impressive. Love Is Blind, B-, like, which is higher than what I gave last week, just because Hannah is just so hateable that I'm like,
wow, so this is the opposite.
Entertaining.
This boosted it up.
It boosted it up because I'm like, I couldn't, like, I had to actually keep watching because I'm like, this girl, like, what the fuck is wrong with her? Mm-hmm. I felt very bad for him.
I mean, she walked all over him for weeks, but on the show. But
no. And then Alex, when they like had their conversation about ending things, and she's just like eating her. She's like, "Oh, you want me to sit in front of you?" He's like, "Well, yeah, I'd like to like look at you when we're talking about this."
No, oh my god, that actually
and then she's
made
like
me
eating her food, and she's like,
Yeah, I don't know what was going on with that relationship. It really felt like after I forgot about that setup. After the pods, it just felt like those two just had no chemistry at all. Yeah. And I saw some people talking about this on TikTok because I saw that a lot of this landed on Tim, because like Tim was, when he ended it, he came off kind of like an asshole. Like, is like, bye. I actually never want to see you again.
That was
like,
kind of
it was like
a mic drop.
But then I saw other people talking about the perspective of like, he could not have put more, and maybe we didn't see it all, you know, we only get shown a certain amount, but he could not have put more of an emphasis on, you know, his family, the trauma, losing his sisters, and then like when she met his parents, like she seemed so uninterested.
Yeah, went to
so
sleep.
Like, and I thought this when I watched it, and it wasn't until I saw somebody else make a TikTok about it that I was like, okay, I feel validated in this. That like, if it was actually the first time they were meeting and the cameras were on, like I don't know if they had met without the cameras on or if this was, but she goes in and hugs them. And if this is the first time you're meeting what you hope are your future in-laws, she had one hand in her pocket. Like she had a vest on and she had one hand in her pocket and she like one arm like hugged them. And it was just, she just seemed so disinterested the whole time. So I don't know. Maybe she was like, and I would have been pissed too. If like then the cameras were off and you were like, all right guys, gonna go head to bed, like gonna go take a nap. I've been like, what the fuck? The first time the cameras were off and my parents are here, you were gonna go sleep?
Yeah. And I don't want it to make it seem like I'm just against the women here, but these two are just so bad. Like, they're awful.
Yeah.
Especially Hannah.
I mean, I like Ashley a lot, and I feel really bad for her. I just feel like she really got the short end of the stick here.
Yeah.
Ashley's the one with Tyler who has children.
Yeah. No, she's cool.
Yeah.
You work with all women, so we know you don't.
No,
women.
it's okay. It's just. I mean, I think most people would agree. Like, just watching the season, like, they just start like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
The new first 2 episodes of Shrinking.
Shrinking. I know. I haven't watched.
Oh,
yet.
It's out now.
Yeah.
First 2.
The first 2. Yeah.
Just like I think it's probably exactly what I said last season. Just like an easy show to watch.
Yeah.
Very corny at points, but that's kind of like I know that's what it is, and it's like Ted Lasso-y kind of, but I enjoy it. And
classic Apple TV.
Yeah.
It really
is. It's the same creators, isn't it?
Is it?
Or like
I don't know.
I don't know if it's the same creators, but I think there's some overlap.
Harrison Ford in that like setting is kind of funny still. I'll give it a B-. Like I didn't really remember like a lot about last season to be honest, and I watched a recap, but I'll keep watching it still. And then last night I watched a couple more episodes of Starting 5. And
I watched the first episode. I forgot.
Did?
Oh my God, I watched like 1 and 2. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually have gotten to the point now where I'm skimming to the Jason Tatum parts, watching Jason Tatum, and then I'm only watching his parts. LeBron, I can't do it. Like this guy like thinks this is just a show about him, apparently.
I mean,
and you're making it just about Jason Tatum. You're watching the Jason Tatum show.
Yeah. I'll watch like Jimmy Butler or like some of the other guys, like Anthony Edwards, but LeBron is just like he's obsessed with himself.
Yeah, but like, is that news? Like,
no, it's
like
not
that's
news, but now it's like
you gotta expect that going and watching a reality show about LeBron.
Behind the scenes.
It's the LeBron show always for him.
And then like they did a whole like half a whole episode of about Bronny and like obviously like his heart attack thing, but I'm just like I feel like I can't escape Bronny James. He's on everywhere. Like he's gonna be.
I love that you're holding a basketball while talking about this.
Yeah.
Like, have we taken notice of that?
Yes.
Like he's not gonna be in the NBA probably, and we're talking about this guy more than Jason Tatum, but it's still, and it's also just I mean,
you can't blame him for that. That's the fascination with the family.
I almost feel bad for him because he's not doing great, and people are just gonna keep talking about him.
Didn't he get drafted?
No, but I'm saying like he's gonna get sent down to like the G League and like he's playing in the preseason games.
Yeah, but I'm like he's on an NBA team right now.
Awful.
Yeah.
But this was before he was in the NBA. Like,
no, I know it's
season.
obviously.
I'll give it a C+.
Yeah.
And if it was only Tatum, it would be higher. But the fact that I'm not even
like calm down. Like I know we like it's almost like too like the other guy. As much as you want to, as you want to take away from LeBron, like the other guys are all very interesting as well. I feel like I know it's because you're a Celtics fan, but like I love watching Jimmy Butler and Anthony Edwards. I think they're also like.
I'll watch Anthony Edwards is very interesting too. Jimmy Butler, I've like just never liked him because of like.
Because he's just always played on teams that the Celtics don't like.
Yeah, and
the Heat, the
Sixers. He's a guy that's if he was on your team, you'd be like, oh, that's my guy. But if he's not on my team, I'm like, I hate that guy.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I watch. Just a lot of hating from me.
It just sounds like you just really, you
just
hate
LeBron.
Love the Celtics so much that any other player you hate because they're not on the Celtics.
Sometimes hating feels so good. Like, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes when you...
And I'm not hating for no reason.
No, right. Sometimes you get that haterade in you for, like, a couple days, and you're just like, fuck it. I just fucking hate whatever.
There's some
let it out.
There's some hateable people on reality TV
Love
recently,
is Blind,
so...
like, I gave it a B-. It's like...
Yeah.
It's fun to hate her.
Yeah,
like,
listen, I'm not blaming you. Like I said, sometimes the hate just fills up, and you just gotta fucking hate, you know? It just comes out.
Fuck it. Hate watch for a reason. There's a reason why they call it that.
I'll try to watch some, like, lighter things next week.
Yeah.
Like some rom-coms, maybe.
Yeah, listen, let it out.
I wanted to go to the movie theater and watch the Trump movie. I didn't make it.
Oh, the Sebastian Stan movie? Yeah.
The Apprentice. It's getting like good reviews, I think, but
I've seen it got iffy reviews. I thought,
It's been,
like I thought
mixed,
people
I
say that
think.
was really good.
Yeah,
but
yeah, maybe that's what it was.
the movie itself is like,
I also want to watch the SNL movie too, and
Yeah.
that's got a mixed review.
Yeah.
Saturday night.
Yeah, Saturday night. Yeah, I know. There's actually a lot I want to see. The Andrew Garfield, Florence Pugh movie I really want to see too. But I just
feel like
no, I know
that'll
you got to be
fucking
right in the
break
in
me.
the right
I just
headspace. It's
think
gonna
that would
wreck it.
break
I
me.
also there's a Dylan O'Brien movie on Max, like a scary movie that just came out, and I turned it on for 10 minutes, and then I turned it off because I'm like, I'm not in the right mood.
Yeah,
I
you're not
totally
in the
forgot
mood for a
Dylan
scary
O'Brien
movie.
walked in front of my Uber. Remember?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, last week.
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
No. Remember when you liked that tweet
Wait,
about
does he
me
still follow
being
you
slutty?
on Twitter?
What?
Doesn't he follow you on Twitter?
Wait, I think you want to know why I think Dylan O'Brien followed me on Twitter. This is
was a
weird,
Mets
like
thing,
because
right?
of the Mets.
Yeah. He's a giant Mets fan, right?
Yeah, and he followed me like when I like early.
I mean, it was really early on.
Yeah, he doesn't have a Twitter anymore.
Yeah.
He deleted his Twitter
Does
5
he have an
months ago.
Instagram?
What
Damn.
the hell?
Damn, we'll never know.
We'll never know.
If he activates again, then he'll still be
Yeah,
following
yeah.
you.
Right,
yeah,
right.
Yep.
All right.
All right.
And that's everything we watched this week.